It's day 1419 of Arukh HaShulchan Yom. It should be as close to our Am Yisrael in our ongoing battles. Today we're doing the Simon Reish Samachay, Sif Chav Hey to Sif Lamed Aleph. Chav Hey, Gama Mila Atra Mina Ramukol Erech Atzmo. Today, the Mila today is to do the Mila on each individual child. If the two children do the same day, brachos for each one by themselves. Even if it's the same oil, etc. The Gdanim already wrote the place there's no minhag l'mushneim bracha achas yosef. But there's no minhag to make to do the Mila, both of them the same bracha. Yosef the bracha kol echad. It's better to make a bracha on each one separately. Normally there are delays and interruptions between one meal and the next one. You also talk in the middle with idle chatter. That's the Bach and the Shach and the Amshul Shlema. Besides this, also one can cast doubt on the primary halacha here. The Enos mitzvahs chavilos can't do mitzvahs in bundles. He is a besaita. When the Gdanim spent a long time speaking about this, we're going to have fun. Because that in the end, the mitzvah shayom yichavos alo shaykh b'zeh chavilos chavilos. So Sean takes issue with this because if the mitzvah is to do it today, how is it possible to say that it's a chavilos issue? It's an obligation of the day. The Chazal lo amru rak b'saitas u'mitzrayim chaytzim she'em chavos yom zeh dafka. They only talked about the chavilos where saita or mitzvah where you don't have to do it specifically today. Avamila she'igi is man Mila whose time is today lo shayach chavilos is not relevant. The time of chavilos reads in the issue of bundles who shalo yedom el of kamasui that should look at a burden. Chachos only fnei amasa, and so he wants to get rid of the masa by killing two birds with one stone. It's obviously not relevant. It's something we have to do today. The Shema Torah maybe will say do the second one an hour later. You don't wait. We do this as quickly as possible. I have two meals on the same day in two separate families. This one wants to do the bris milah first. The other one wants to do the bris milah first. There are two sets of malim. We call them the custom is to do the bris milah first. The child who was born earlier on the day they were born. The truth is there's no true difference. Because the obligation comes to both of them on the 8th day at sunrise simultaneously. Nevertheless, in order to prevent a machlekes, it's best to do it this way. Obviously, the Mila taking place on the 8th day takes precedence of Mila taking place after the 8th day. But if they brought in already the child who was after the 8th day, by then they didn't yet bring the one whose Mila is supposed to be today. So they should do bris milah on the one which is brought for them to us, and not wait for the one whose man is today. Because our Rabbeinu says, it's possible to do bris milah with 10 men present. It's not possible. You do with less than 10 men present. Come on, me. The Medina ain't so well, it's a score. The strict letter of law, you don't need 10 people. It's like, no, but you need 10 people because strict letter of law. It's preferable to do it from 10 people because it publicizes the event. Kamurga b'shas, like the Shas says about different things. Gather me 10 people. Furthermore, the child is entering the same holiness. And for holiness need 10. A minhag allowed there, she was dafka. Therefore, the minhag is to try and do better. There should be 10 people there. Actually, it's also any good of it's not an imperative. Pick it up, Eliezer. Mavur tzarech asara. It seems to require 10. I see Flamed Zayin. Chav Zayin. Das around Perkim tzarech all the Baruch Shechianu. Ram the fires make Baruch Shechianu, which is still the minute in Eretz Yisrael now. Chutzlaritz. Vav mitzvah also amal even the mitzvah is done by the male. Shuluk also he's his agent. Therefore, it's like him. Came to mitzvah shein adiras is not a prevalent mitzvah. Kabbalah l'mitzvah is man. It's a mitzvah comes on occasion. Shabar shechianu where you make a shechianu. Much custom so because brachas and chum. Chayin agu b'chol as you saw mitzvah mitzvah chos mitzvah taka. It's he says here as you saw in Egypt, Syria, and all the surrounding areas. Yesh custom those who wrote the dafka k'shav moya ba'atzma only when the father himself is moya mevarch shechianu. Any time must be a double. Insufficient reason to say such a thing. But all of our coaches, we don't have many at all to make shechin brismila. But I thought the ancient sources already have difficulty establishing why not. The new cuts, some people say it's because of the anguish that the child is undergoing. It doesn't seem that's the case. For example, it goes to my money. Yesh Kosmu, the time she was suffix, nefel, those who are on account because of the suffix, perhaps the child is a miscarriage. It doesn't seem that way. Does the Messiah rope for us left to most children, which are sustainable. Rash also it is about a good reason why I should make a bracha. But they played it like an optional bracha. I ain't such because they must be. See, they wrote those is insufficient. But the thing is, on the other hand, the Shas doesn't mention Shech being is one of the brachos we make on a milah. The pasuk does, the Shas does mention shechianu. Sukkah infers from this a meal does not require shechianu. It says because he only enacted shechianu by a mitzvah of simcha and sham. Movement. This also doesn't seem to be the case. Because we do the bris milah b'simcha. He's in Shabbos kuflamet. Like we learn Shabbos there. Perhaps the meaning is that true we do it out of simcha and joy. They dumb mitzvah comes through blood. You see in Josh's Lekra, like it says in the Medrash about the pasuk we are killed for your sake all day. And therefore you can't make a shechina. And that's why the ancient sources say the reason for the anguish of the child, and it's like we said, it's a bloody thing. It doesn't say make a shechina when you blow shofar either, because I'm barking never take the bracha. Who here too it's the same thing. In the brackets he says heavy may rush b'shem raviyah. Sham yesh shechin al shofar ayin sham. Sham it says plus make shechin al shofar. We don't have such Yushami, like many Yushamis which don't exist. But Gamtus, at least not by us. Gamtus, Sefta Peragroy, Loim says Lo Bemila Lo Bishop, it's not found to Sefta either. Kaf Ches. Because I've been a writes to me, say Nagim Shalbark Shachir, I feel Shav Atzmo Mabro. In our conscious meaning is not to make a shechina, even the father himself does the bris milah. In Moshe Mabno, B'chol Shechad, if does so, if not, is that he's being mal his son, who's the B'chor, we asked to redeem. Baruch Shem B'shas Milah makes shechina the time of the milah. Ve'en Baruch B'shas Pidyon doesn't make it the time of the Pidyon. But B'shas is exempt Pidyon, and Baruch Shechina don't make a shechina at Kan L'Shayah. There's an interesting minute which we don't have. It's Maneinu Lo B'Shaman Minhag. We never have heard of such a minhag in our day and age. Kamein is a time cloud. There's no real rationale for it. According to what he's saying, the father is Kohen Levi, Ishto Bas Kohen, his wife is daughter of a Kohen, Bas Levi, or the daughter of a Levi, Abraham Gam B'Choy, but doesn't make bracha b'chor either. Also from the Shas in Psalm seems contradict this minute Ayin Sham. Brackets it says Ayin Shachsi because you the Gam B'Chor Adimi Maril Nafochum. Never says Maril is the opposite. But to make a first time, you do a bris milah, shechianu, yes, tasmach. Just say through a line. Mashkasim simakov ches, levarech pam rishon al kisui, to make the bracha, the first thing of kisui adam. Ayin shamil, lezlos b'pidyon tzarech. Nevertheless, the link at the pidyon is very difficult. Find that Moshe b'drisha. Chavtes, answer chasos erbas hakotim b'shas habarak. Don't have to cover the organ of the child when we make the bracha. V'ador, on the contrary, if you have minik shon shebarim b'shas hachitu, according to minik that we make the bracha at the time you're cutting, let's have to see if you're of sim, however be them, they're grabbing onto the organ with their hands. Tevas katlo mikre erba, the organ of a small child is not called or erba. Umutli kos kriyash makinev, you read shma opposite it. Even the one who holds it, that's forbidden. It's because we have a holy camp. I feel there was cotton and they hold that applies even to the Arab of a minor. Hacha came to us in mitzvah mila. Here, since it's involved in mitzvah mila, it is by definition a holy encampment. The kedusha is involved kedusha, but well karinan bezev lo'erev chadav estavar. So the pasuk lo'erev estavar does not apply to this scenario. That's from the Shach. Rav Shabar Chaim Sim Piav. It's for the kosher any yochel chok zayis togan emachim mitzvah. So, and even though it says that in that a child who can't eat a kazayis of grain, we don't distance ourselves from his excrement. Kosh can think about shmonish. It's only go for a child 8 days old. It's appropriate to clean the child of any excrement. It's no different than anything which might prove disgusting. Lamed. You should know the fire tinak mashtim beish would see meal. Sometimes the child urinates when you want to do the bris milah. Really, the asa baruch l'shash mashtim. You can't make the bracha when he's urinating. The meir raglayim will see the chiluk ben katan gadol. By urine, there's no difference between a child and an adult. The keneged amud kilach asatera. Opposite the squirt, you can't. Torah forbade. Torah b'shem kedusha. L'matay b'gemara b'paiskim. Chiluk ben gadol katan. We find no distinction between a child and an adult. The meir raglayim in terms of urine. The b'shlama b'tzoa. By defecation, the hatam mishum the b'tzoa is katan misrachas. There's logic that the excrement of a child doesn't have a bad smell. It appears Rashi was sukkah till it's over Gimel Ayin Sham. So per Gimel Ayin Sham Avo sukkah that man base Avo Merak line. But urine comes to go to the even an adult it doesn't necessarily have a bad smell. The high time in Osim in the Torah it's not Osim in the Torah brak b'shas kilach unless it's actually squirting. Avo Mishnah for it's once it's on the ground. Mutal cross kriyashma connecting with the after we kriyashma opposite the drops of urine be the rice. It can be rabbanan. Rabbanan eats three they require you distance yourself achik arba amos for 4 amos distance. V'sesh amar sukkah sham that which says in sukkah yachol leachol kazayis dagan. If a child can eat the kazayis of grain machin mitzvahs and may raglav arba amos we distance yourself from his excrement and from his urine 4 amos. Then before the head you call him zeh gam may raglav. So it seems quite clear that before this time when he eat kazayis dagan his urine is permitted. Zeh lachar shenof loretz. That's when you're already on the ground. The harchaka urakbim rabbanan. When anyway the distance is over rabbanan, blow goes to katan and they make a decree by a katan. Aval keneged kilach, but opposite the squirt. Shemin Torah also that it's also made a rice. Lo mitzvah chil is no distinction. Lo shenomar unless we say the yisrael raglayim b'shlas kilach if in a mavi yatsa shama yatsa shama chutz. Perhaps he learned the prohibition of urine from the pasuk says you should go outside in order to defecate and urinate. So you can't. Become a word of bracha sham. The kram ma'ir b'gedolim alchilim milchama. That pasuk says about adults are going to war. V'hakra ksiv gamkein b'kisisa secha. It says you should cover your excrement. V'zelo ma'ir b'katan. It's not talking about cotton that pasuk. If adin me'mei raglayim. So therefore perhaps it does not talk about cotton, but it's me'mei raglayim. L'matzasekilu yedin zah. He didn't find a revelation, anything to reveal about its halacha. The tzarchi yedin is not true halacha. The father of the child stands over the mother to tell him that the mother is his agent. And even prior to that, he sent a directive to him to perform the bris, or he sent him through the shamash a message, which makes him an agent. You come to stand adjacent to him, be'es ha-mila. The milah came carbon because milah is like a carbon. He's a medrash vayikra. Mishpat adam and mishpat behema shabbat. The judgment of a man and judgment of an animal are equal. Adam b'yom hashmini yol. A man on his 8th day, he has his milah behema yom hashiba yotzei korban. An animal from its 8th day can be brought as a carbon. He may base on my carbon, b'ratzon ubetovahu karbani. If you brought him from me a carbon appropriately. And with good the good way, it's my carbon. The whole carbon, any carbon, the owner has to stand there when they're doing the carbon. It's like it says, how could carbon a person be sacrificed not standing there? Tikkun Mambodas said so they have the whole concept of Mambodas where Israelim kind of stand in proximity to the carbon while the carbon's being sacrificed. And it's in the end for today.